Here's one. They score! They score!
Welcome to God's Playbook with your host, Father Rico Passero.
Look at the 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown!
Let's play ball.
Friends, welcome back to God's Playbook. In these last days of Advent, the church gives us these readings. We've been hearing about the encounter with Elizabeth and Mary visiting with Elizabeth. Today it's about the naming of John. Naming rights is a very important thing. Parents should be taking a significant amount of time to think about the proper name of their child. Everyone has different ways of naming their child these days. It's so beautiful when you see somebody name their child after a saint or after a family member. Sometimes people pick their favorite actor or actress or athlete or somebody that they look up to. In Jewish culture, the name of the child, the firstborn son specifically, should be named after the father. So his name should be Zachariah. The fact that God is calling this child John signifies that he's going to have a very different mission. He's not to be like his father. He's not to follow in his footsteps. In regards to faithfulness and righteousness to God, yes, he absolutely should follow his father in faithfulness, and mother too, by the way. But here, the naming rights of this child signifies that he's called to a special mission. Think of your favorite sports franchise, especially when there's a new expansion team. They often try to choose a name that is conducive to the area. For instance, for us hockey fans, the Seattle Kraken, when the Seattle franchise was being named, they were thinking of names like the Sockeyes, or the Kraken, or words that are based in the Seattle area. They also considered Sonics, like the former basketball team. And it's important that the people who named the sports franchise want the fans to be able to gravitate to that team to create a sense of loyalty. And so the Kraken were given that name. When we think of the Washington football team, formerly called the Redskins, but of course that name was seen to be offensive. So then they went and just were called the Washington Football Club. They had no name, and now they're the Commanders. But you can already see that some people don't like that name, so they want to change it because they can't identify with the sports franchise. So the people hearing that John, where did John come from? There's nobody in your family named John. What is this all about? So Zechariah and Elizabeth are being questioned about the decision that they've made. His name is John. We continue to see that social pressures are present in the scriptures. So we shouldn't be surprised when we face social pressures in our lives too. You don't need to go to church. You're a good person. You don't need to follow that teaching of the church. Just do everything else. Why do you have to pray for? Everybody goes to heaven. There's all kinds of social pressures that we hear to our left and to our right. And yet how important it is to not buy into those pressures, not to feel overwhelmed by them either, but to identify that despite social pressures, we should still be called to do the right thing. Zechariah is rewarded by God by being allowed to speak once John is named. Elizabeth continues to remain faithful in her dedication to her son and in her Jewish faith and loyalty to God. And so this should inspire us too, friends. How can each one of us, no matter the way we live our lives, how can we be more faithful to God? We've taken on the name Christian for those who are baptized. How can I live the name of God myself? How can I not just be a Christian, but to live Christian ways? how do I better identify with the name that has been given to me? And I don't mean our first name friends, but this idea and this notion of being called a daughter or son of God. Does my behavior reflect that I am truly a daughter or son of God? In the naming of John, he is given a special mission. When we are given the privilege of being called a daughter or son of God, we too are called to a special mission, a mission that is developed throughout our life, a call by God which is unique, special, and personal to each of us, a call and a mission that, please God, will eventually lead us to the throne of grace and enjoy the fruits of God's glory in the heavenly kingdom. For now, friends, we continue our week of joy, trusting in the importance of naming rights. May God truly, with great pride and joy, refer to us as his daughter and son, of whom he is well pleased. Why? Because we associate ourselves with him. We choose to live in the glory of God by serving others and being moved to action. And may we always be that willing hand of Jesus to help others who are in need as well. What's in a name? A lot. Let's not just bear the name Christian, but may the name Christian, son and daughter of God, be one that we hold with great honor, with great integrity, and with great joy, for God is with us. For God's Playbook, friends, I'm Father Rico. God loves you, and so do I.
If you like what you hear, please consider supporting us using any of our affiliate links in the description below via Buzzsprout, Ko-Fi, or GoFundMe. Thanks, and God bless.